On a small farm not far from Lexington, Matt Minigato has gone all in on pawpaws.
For some reason, it's producing pretty big fruits on here.
The small green fruit, which tastes of mango, banana, and pineapple, grows perfectly here in Kentucky, especially in Wilmore. It's why, after moving back to the state 3 years ago, Minigato planted roughly 150 pawpaw trees in his front yard.
I wanted to kind of focus in on a fruit that was native to our area, mostly because it kind of cuts down on pests, diseases.
Minigato operates under the name Hang Loose Pawpaw Patch. Next year, with a good number of his trees being the right age, he'll begin selling his harvest. And put simply, Ale8's recent release of a pawpaw-flavored drink is helping out in a big way.
They don't even know this, but what they've done for people in the pawpaw community is huge. It's gotten the name out there. It's definitely getting more popular, I think. For a native fruit, I think that's huge.
Not far away, sitting on a few hundred acres, is Kentucky State University's Research and Demonstration Farm. The only full-time pawpaw research program in the world, according to horticulture professor Kirk Pumper.
And you can see, it's why maybe some people call it the Kentucky banana, because they do kind of form these hands or clusters of fruit.
Here, the university has been studying and planting the fruit since the mid-90s. It's also been developing its own types of pawpaws. Among their areas of focus, Pomper says, is experimenting to see if its short shelf life can be extended.
So we're looking for the next great pawpaw variety, right? That's what we're really looking for. And so there are some really good-looking selections out here, and we flagged some of those.
Dedicated work that takes years to produce results.
To protect it, you paint it white here and it reflects the sun.
Passing down knowledge that will mean farmers down yonder in their own pawpaw patches will see the fruits of their labor come harvest. Reporting in Franklin County, Mason Brighton, Spectrum News.
So the collection is really dispersed throughout this space.
Roughly 10 million images.
It is CJ up and down these shelves.
That's the current estimate for how large the Barry Bingham Jr. Courier Journal photo collection is, says archivist Cassidy Muir.
These subjects can get pretty granular. So for instance, this is basketball tournaments, Kentucky State High from 1963.
Since taking on the paper's photo archive back in 2022, Muir's team has worked to catalog what's inside all of these boxes.
Right now, we know exactly what subjects we're going to find in the collection. However, we don't necessarily know what sort of pictorial representations we're going to find within each subject. So that is definitely the next step.
In the basement of U of L's Ekstrom Library, climate-controlled rooms and acid-free boxes house the works of the city's largest newspaper, each holding the works of photographers who've captured the monumental, moving, and mundane moments that have shaped our city and state.
I'm a lifelong Louisville resident. I grew up here, and so working with this collection just has made me all the more affectionate for living in Louisville.
Behind a metal door, a brand new cold storage area holds the paper's film negatives, which date back to the late 1800s. The frigid, near-freezing cold room keeps developed film from deteriorating.
The scale of this collection really ramps up once you start looking at the 35mm images.
Once the entire collection is cataloged, it will become publicly accessible. Around 6,000 of its images, deemed most notable by the paper, will be put online as well as part of the library's digital archive. Work to make that happen has been underway for months.
From the information that I've gathered, I'll help put that in my description, and then from my description I'll create the title, which is what you would search the image by.
If a picture is worth 1,000 words, just imagine the stories these millions of photographs have told. Reporting in Louisville, Mason Brighton, Spectrum News. For almost as long as he can remember, Gavin Phillips has had an interest in the honeycomb-creating flying insects that pollinate our world.
For me, this was kind of like an escape early on in my life.
That interest, sparked by a neighbor in his youth, has stuck around all these years later. Now a senior at the University of Louisville pursuing a degree in molecular biology, Phillips can be found in his off time here, tending to the school's apiary that's home to these two hives.
I will say, every job interview I have been to, they point out the beekeeper thing with a question mark.
Phillips's title is beekeeping intern. He took on that role about a year and a half ago, and also mentors other students who are interested in the hobby.
You see that top layer right there, that white stuff? That's all the wax coating.
Tucked away in a far corner of the U of L campus, this secluded spot lets the bees thrive in a safe location. Phillips is preparing to make a final honey harvest before things quiet down for the winter.
For me, it's therapy, it's social interaction, it's community-driven building.
Several thousand bees can call these hives home. Their presence keeps this part of the city pollinated year-round, all while giving those who tend to them an outlet to promote sustainability. Reporting at the University of Louisville, Mason Brighton, Spectrum News.